What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. So today we are going to be talking about something that a lot of you guys have DM'd me and asked me to talk about. So recently, Abby Sharp, who is a dietitian here on YouTube, makes videos. She actually made a video about me in the past about my full day of eatings. She recently made a video about Greg Doucette, who is also a YouTuber, a professional bodybuilder, where she went over his diet.
Hey guys, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. In today's edition of What I Eat in a Day YouTuber Reviews, I'm going to be taking a look at Greg Doucette. Now, Greg is a popular fitness influencer and coach here on YouTube who creates content surrounding reviewing other YouTubers' diets and fitness regimes, also his personal diet tips and tricks for weight loss, as well as the odd video on what he eats in a day to stay shredded.
Now, before we jump into the video, I do want to say, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but under this video, there is a little join button. I recently started memberships here on the channel. The reason I did it was mainly because I've been doing so many live streams and I wanted to give you guys an option to leave little emotes. I got little specially made emotes just for our live stream. There's 3 different options, so if you guys do want to check that out, you know, one of the things that I'll be doing at the highest option is I'll actually be shouting you guys out at the end of the video. So if that's something that you want to do, that's down there. There's also going to be special videos just for members, and then obviously we're going to be doing special live streams just for members as well. So if that's something that you want to do, obviously it supports me a lot. I would really appreciate it. So if you want to just click that join button down there, obviously I would really be happy about that. Okay, so hopping into the topic, I'm gonna be honest here. Abby's video is basically like an hour long. Now, I've watched it 2 times already, and I don't think that it's fully necessary for me to go over her whole video to kind of explain the things that I want to explain in this video. Obviously, I'll make sure that I link Abby's video if you guys do want to watch it down in the description. But I would say the main gist of why I think she has a problem with Greg is because she is very much so, you know, intuitive eating, not really tracking what you are eating. That was kind of one of her main critiques when she made her video about me, was that in some of the clips I was actually weighing things out, but I only weigh like seriously like only a few things out when I am eating. I've been doing intuitive eating for 4 or 5 years now, but Greg, he's obviously a professional bodybuilder and he believes in like macros and tracking, and so she is really against that type of dieting. Now, one thing with Greg is that he is very aggressive in his videos. He is a loud guy. I honestly because I watch both of these people's content, I watch both of their videos, and when it comes to Greg, this is my opinion, I see him as an entertainer and then an educator, right? Like, I think his videos are very entertaining as far as like he's just over the top and he's ridiculous and he's super loud and he yells a bunch, and but when I watch that, I take everything he says, you know, kind of with like a grain of salt, because I see it as an entertainer saying it. And that's not to say that I don't think he's a smart guy, because I do think that he is a genuinely smart guy. But when I look at Abby's content and when I watch her videos, I see her as an educator first, and I would assume that that's kind of what she's trying to do, right? Her channel, like her probably one of her main goals in her videos is to educate people, not so much to entertain them. I'm sure she doesn't want them to be boring, but I think her main goal is to educate. And I would say Greg's, this is me putting words in his mouth, but I would say, you know, when people are going to watch his videos, at least they're going to be entertained first and then educated second. Now, my main critique when it comes to Abby's video, and I think that this could honestly be applied to anyone, it could definitely be applied to me, I'm sure it could be applied to Greg, is that we get focused on the people that we are trying to help, right? Like, I am very focused on trying to help people lose a massive amount of weight and keep it off. So a lot of times my advice is, because that's what's in my head, those are the type of people that I am trying to help. And a lot of times when Abby is critiquing these full day of eating videos, or like any videos in general, she is seeing it through her lens of, from what I've noticed, is usually helping guys and girls that are kind of going through they're kind of trying maybe to deal with some disordered eating in the past, and maybe they got addicted to tracking, and so now they're trying to focus on intuitive eating, which is great, and I think she does a great service. But a lot of times all of her critiques are coming from that lens. And so obviously a lot of the stuff that she says in the video where she is critiquing Greg, she said when she was critiquing me, and I've seen it that she says when she's critiquing really anyone else's diet. I think a lot of people get turned off by, you know, whenever anyone critiques anyone, right? But like a lot of people get turned off by, I think, Abbey, because a lot of what she says is it makes it seem like the way that I do things, right? The way Abbey Sharp does things is the way that everyone else should do things. And I just think that that's wrong, because I think for most people, a lot of the experiences we have in the past will dictate how we maybe tackle experiences we're having now. So if we're talking about nutrition, a lot of the things I dealt with in the past dictate how I eat now and how I track or don't track, right? And that's going to be the same for everybody. So I think because she's had certain experiences in her past that have led her to believe what she believes, she is now spewing this rhetoric to other people, which is totally fine, and I'm sure it's helpful for a lot of people. She has a lot of subscribers, but there are going to be people that don't have any of those experiences and are going to watch her videos and they're like, this is ridiculous, this isn't going to help me.
Now, at one point when Greg is talking about this meal, he points out that you will not get fat eating this stuff, which for him is probably not untrue considering the caloric deficit that he is in. But what we know about dieting is that when people force themselves into this sort of deficit and follow really strict food rules, the most common outcome is that they end up breaking and binging on those foods that were not allowed. So while you may not get fat eating these foods, you might gain weight in the long run as a result of the restrict binge cycle. In fact, it's not uncommon for fitness competitors to weight cycle really drastically after a show when they go off a diet, partially because of metabolic or hormonal declines, but also because of the psychological toll.
Now, what Abbey said right there is probably my favorite part of the video, and what I agree with the most and stuff that I talk about a lot is when we are overly strict with our diet, a lot of times it can be a negative, right? And that's why I always talk about starting out slow. You don't need to go from 0 to 100. And then especially, you know, myself included, when you decide to do a show prep, everything becomes even more intense, right? Because you are dieting to get as shredded as possible for yourself to be on stage basically naked, right? And so every choice that you are making has so much more weight to it, and a lot of people end up struggling a lot more. And then like she was saying, once you're done with the show, so many people end up gaining a lot of weight. So that is why personally for me, and when I talk to other people that have lost a lot of weight and they're like, oh, maybe I want to do a show, I always say, like, make sure this is something that you know you can handle, because even someone that isn't losing a massive amount of weight, that's just prepping for the show, that's never been massively overweight, so many of them end up gaining a massive amount of weight after the show, and it's hard for them. So especially if you're someone that has lost a lot of weight and you are deciding to compete, really think about it. And it's something that I did not think enough about when I decided to compete, and that is a big reason why I don't think I'll ever compete again. Now, I want to make it clear, at the time of me recording this, Greg has not made any response, so I can't really comment on if he ends up making a response. But I will say, you know, as far as like how I look at both of these channels, the way I see it is different strokes for different folks. I understand that there are people that watch my channel that might see Greg's channel and be like, he's too overly loud, he's too crazy, I don't like that, and I understand that. And there are probably people that watch Greg's channel that said that I'm too boring and I'm not crazy enough, and I understand that. And the same thing with Abbey's channel, right? There are going to be people that like Abbey's channel where she's able to help them a lot, and they're not going to like mine or Greg's channels. But at the same time, I do believe that there are people that might watch all of our channels. Like, I don't really know, but the way I think of it is that Greg is doing a service, and he is helping. I genuinely think he is helping people that Abbey will never reach. And I truly believe that, and I think the same thing for Abbey. I think she is helping people that Greg will never reach. Do I disagree with Abbey and Greg on some things? 100%, but I do believe that both of them are genuine in trying to help people, and I think that's the most important thing. And I am genuinely happy that both of them are making videos, and I mean, I'm kind of curious to see how this all goes. I don't see Greg getting, like, I mean, I can see him getting mad, but I can't see him getting like really upset at her. I don't think that any of her critiques or anything like that were over the top. Like, I think of when she critiqued me, there was a couple things that she didn't like, but overall it was a pretty positive review. And so I am actually really curious to see how this all plays out. But again, I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comment section down below. I'm genuinely curious to hear if there's anyone that watches all three of us and like why you watch us, or, you know, kind of tell me what you get out of each person. I think that could be really cool. But again, if you want to join the channel and become a member, I would love for you guys to do that. Again, that join button is right down there. And if you want to join us for the streams, I've been streaming almost every single day at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or PDT, whichever one it is. But I've been streaming almost every single day. So if you ever are bored and you want to come hang out, I would love to have you. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look how buff I am. Ugh.
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.